Good day, my name is Lynda Tong Feng Ming with metric number 262729, and the topic for my thesis is the acceptance of online health information caused by informational support and perceived risk in terms of COVID-19 vaccine. So for the introduction of my thesis is until today, Malaysians are still fighting with the COVID-19 pandemic, where the total confirmed case of COVID-19 had reached more than 600,000 in June 2021. The number of deaths is more than 4,000 by 16 June 2021. So it is known that there are few mutated strains of COVID-19 virus present in Malaysia, and which increases the risk of people being infected by the virus. So this pandemic has led people to be more dependent on technology, on social media, and to conduct their daily tasks such as purchasing daily necessities, hand-in tasks, etc. So a lot of workers are forced to work from home during the pandemic, and this has led to online conducted meetings and conference by most of the companies. So the reliability of social media by people has increased due to the pandemic, and thus information is mostly dispersed through social media like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, and others. This situation leads people to seldom ask for professional advice from professional bodies like doctors, nurses, pharmacists, and it actually happens for many fields, especially for health field. Okay, they would rather seek information from Google official websites or just rely on the information sent by their friends, by their acquaintance. So even health professionals heavily rely on technology to share information. So regarding the latest information, they share this information through social media, through websites as well. So hospitals and health-related organizations, they started to invest their time and money on websites and social media to communicate with their patients and audiences and contact their patients for checkups and follow-ups. These websites also function to provide information and updates about a certain issue. It has saved the time of both healthcare providers and patients and improved service quality of healthcare providers. So next, I'll talk about my problem statement. So the variables that I'm investigating in my research are about informational support, perceived risk, and also the acceptance of online health information. So informational support is the type of social support, and is referred as the message that includes knowledge or facts such as advices or feedbacks on action. So this is especially used on the web, where people are freely sharing information with each other. So these informational supports can reach audience immediate needs. So health communities on social media contains a variety of health information which is ready for those who seek to understand more about a particular issue on health. So everyone is free to use this social platform for health information, and informational support is also understood as to add in information and confirmation to one's knowledge available. So for perceived risk is actually the feeling of uncertainty while searching for health information on the internet and social media platform. There are a few fields that are related to perceived risk, such as time risk, psychological risk, and privacy risk. So the main risks commonly occur to people are time risk and psychological risk, where they spend a lot of time investigating a piece of information found online, and they would sometimes compare informations that are present in different websites. So, and the change of psychological states of these audiences while accepting the information online is one of the perceived risks on health information. So next, we'll talk about the acceptance of online health information. So when an information is accepted, this information will stay in the brain or used in the daily lives of the audience. So in a survey by Pew Charitable Trust, it has proven that 8 out of 10 respondents use the web for health research. So And among them, 58% of the respondents have given an answer to the questions shown above, which the information found on the web affects their healthcare decisions, while 55% said that online health information has changed their overall approach to maintaining their health or the health of someone they help take care of. This has shown that the health information which people found online are applied to their daily lives, so that they know if that particular information does benefit them or not. When one does not accept an information sought, he or she will never apply the knowledge in their daily lives. So the problem statement for my research is the relationship between informational support and acceptance of online health information, and also the relationship between perceived risk and the acceptance of online health information. So my research question is there any relationship between informational support and the acceptance of online health information? And is there any relationship between perceived risk and the acceptance of online health information? So my research objective is to determine the relationship between informational support and the acceptance of online health information, and to determine the relationship between perceived risk and the acceptance of online health information. So my scope of study is done in Alasta, Kedah, and a sample size of 68 people from age 15 to 26 years old will be chosen as the respondents and participants, because the people between this range is technology savvy and they are more likely to search for information related to COVID-19 vaccine when they are requested by their parents or elders. So these respondents are divided into two groups. One is control group and experimental group with a number of 34 people per group. So the theory used for this research is magic bullet theory and social judgment theory. So magic bullet theory, it simply describes about propaganda and listeners, which is also called as the audience, to be passive. The audience only receives and responds to whatever messages that they are given, and these propaganda critics supposedly visualize social influence as a hypodermic injection of powerful messages directly into a passive and cognitively uniform population. So there are people who believe in online health information completely, while there are some who hesitated before accepting what they have read online. So researchers told us that it has affected their healthcare decisions, while some said that online health information has changed their overall approach to maintaining their health or the health of someone who they help to take care of. So the research shows that some people will believe 100% whatever they see or hear online without looking for a confirmation. So this is the power of magic bullet theory. So the other theory used is social judgment theory, which the fact that the people nowadays are more educated, which opposes this magic bullet theory. It is harder to brainwash these people compared to those in the 1940s and 1950s. So although we can still apply magic bullet theory in my research, it is better when we apply social judgment theory as well, since the audience are not only passively receiving messages, but they are also actively searching for information as well. So social judgment theory is used to determine whether online health information is positioned in which latitude of the subjects. Not all information are accepted. So therefore, it is important to understand whether they anchor, which is their preferred position on a particular issue, their alternatives, whether they accept, reject, or non-commit, or their ego involvement will affect their acceptance on a particular health issue, which leads to application of the knowledge in their daily lives. So the conceptual framework will be shown. So my research hypothesis is that there is a relationship between informational support and acceptance of online health information, and there is also a relationship between perceived risk and the acceptance of online health information. So the methodology that I use is the population. So in statistics, population is the total number where a statistical sample is chosen. A population might be an entire group of people, object, events, or measurements. So in this study, the population involved a community community of people which is youth from 15 years old to 26 years old in Alostar Kedah. The estimated population of youth in Alostar Kedah is 119,000 people, and the sample size is defined as the part or subset of the total population chosen for a survey or experiment. So it measures the number of individual samples measured or observed used in a survey or experiment. So according to sample size calculation in clinical research, the group size should be 34 per group, and therefore a total number of 68 respondents is required for this research. So I'll be using SPSS to collect the data and analyze the data that I have collected. So before analyzing, going to the pre-test, post-test, my questionnaire has gone through a data validation and reliability test to make sure that my questionnaire is reliable and valid to be tested. So after I've completed all the data, collected all the data, descriptive statistics is needed to show the demographics of the respondents that I have chosen randomly. So this descriptive statistics helps to describe, to show or summarize the data collected. So for my findings in my pre-test, the characteristics of the respondents chosen in the control group in these studies are shown. And according to the data, most of the respondents in the control group consists of female, which is 70.6%. So in the control group consists of respondents range from 15 to 26 years old, with most of them are 23 years old. And the paper also shows that most of the respondents are university graduates. So, and most of them also are Chinese. So the statistics also show that these people, they mostly use Google while searching for online health information, while for the experimental group, it also shows that most of the respondents are female for 52.9%, and among the 34 respondents, 29 of them are university graduates, and most of them are 23 years old, and they mostly use Google to search for online information, also related to COVID and also for health. So next, I'll be showing the table for pre-test. Okay, table shows that the pre-test is done to make sure the respondents are psychologically and informationally similar, so that the accuracy of this study is accurate. Okay, the t-value of informational support when compared to both groups is 1.079, where the critical value of 33 is 1.692, where the p-value is larger than 0.05. It means that there is no difference in the informational support for both groups. And the t-value of perceived risk is 0.816, where the critical value is 1.692. P-value larger than 0.05. It also means that there's no difference in perceived risk of both groups. And the t-value for acceptance of health information is 0.315, which also there's no difference in acceptance of health information for both groups. The purpose of this study is to investigate the acceptance of online health information caused by informational support and perceived risk in terms of COVID-19 vaccine. As a result, the participants are chosen randomly from the young adults from 15 to 26 years old in Alostar Kedah. So according to the paired sample done in the research, it has shown that both groups, which are control group and experimental group, are similar psychologically and in daily information exposure. So therefore, it is proper to proceed with the material exposure and data collection of post-test. So it is important to investigate the judgment of youngsters in this era where false information could be spread like wildfire. Misinformation might cause a change in perception and psychologically, which would lead to wrong decisions made when it comes to health-related decisions. So thank you. This is the presentation of my video.